Hello, I'm Daniel Dustmans, and I'm here with Chris Leach, who just performed that piece magnificently. Great job.
Thank you very much.
If we get another round of applause for that. So I was just wondering, how did you get started writing that piece? How did you start writing it?
You see, the problem with that is you know just as much about that as I do, because I have no idea. However, I was going through old pictures and videos on my phone, getting rid of stuff, trying to free up space so I can download more stuff. But I actually found a video recording of me improvising the introduction of this piece and also playing the main theme, and that was taken on March 21st of last year, so this is almost a year-long project. And then I think I wrote up to the first third of it in a month, had a different resolution for one bit, and then didn't like it, had it all, took a break for 3 months, came back, finished it one day.
It's kind of amazing how you can just start off with such a simple idea like that and it turns into an entire work. So,
yeah, it really takes off a life of its own. I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Now, obviously, you are both the composer and the performer in this case. Is there a specific process that you have for performing your own works versus performing works but written by other composers?
When I'm doing something that I wrote, I always write from behind an instrument. So in the process of writing it, I'm also kind of learning it at the same time, going through all the process of, I like this note, I don't like this note, I'm going to play it like this. I'll do a run through, see if I want to make any changes. So I'm already learning the piece, and I really have to go back and work on possible spots. But with anyone else's work, I have to, start from scratch, and that takes it's a little bit more focus required for me, but gotta get it done, right?
So when in both composing and performing the work, you pretty much know the piece, you're living in it, you know it like the back of your hand.
More or less.
Not putting pressure on you, but
yeah, I would guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's really interesting to hear.
The most frustrating thing is when I write one thing one day and I come back the next day to practice it and I can't play it anymore. Which is the biggest part of this piece. When I'm doing just the one melody in my right hand, doing the melody in my left, I wrote that one day and I was like, this is great. Wrote it down, came back the next day to run through it again. I couldn't play that section. It was like another month before I could play it again.
It's strange how sometimes that happens. It's just the nature of our minds and practicing and all that. Now, I noticed that there are a lot of the time signatures in the meter is very flowing and very freeform, and I've noticed that in a lot of your music as well. When you do all those rapid changes in time signature, do you map them out at all, or did you kind of improvise them in their compositional process?
Okay, I have a short story, a long story, and a really long story. What do you want to hear?
Let's go with the medium long story.
Okay, so most of it is improvised, and usually everything I do starts as improvising, and then I'll go back and change one note, but just by doing run-throughs over and over again. The only part that I ever mapped out was the introduction of this piece, which is starting with the one rhythm focused on the note C. Even though the meters are changing, the rhythm of that, just the middle C, never changes, even though the meters around it are going all over the place. And that's also a cool idea to play around with. So that's one bit in this piece I had to go back and actually learn because I didn't know it yet, because I did that briefly on pencil and paper.
Well, that was very interesting to hear about. Well,
and then going on, the rest of it is improvised, and when it comes to rhythms, I just focus on, is this going to be a short beat or a long beat? So short, long, short, long, short, short, and I just don't even bother to count up to what it adds up to. I'm just focusing on just the little melodic beats, and they can get things in 17 or whatever.
Oh, okay. So you start with the micro beats, as it were, and then it sort of
and I just don't pay attention to anything else. Oh. So I get really weird meters.
And it turns out to be very interesting. It turns out to be very interesting in your music. So it's great to hear. Well, thank you for your time. That was a great performance.
Thank you.
Thank you.